Hi, Dr. Saxena here, and we welcome again talking about different stuffs. Basically, when it comes to simple problems which are being can be dealt by different ways, need not be. My focus is again on trying to see emphasize how best I can see that you don't get into something like any surgical issues and all that. We can avoid some surgical problems just by looking into these things. So basically, someone was asking me just now what to do with his frequent urination at night, also called as nocturia. It just happened. I was just coming. I was walking my way to my clinic, and one of my neighbor, he asked me, how what exactly I need to show it to your urologist and all that. Can you suggest any good one urologist and all? Definitely, I had asked him to look at his prostate evaluation and all that, get this particular checked out. Why? Because this is gentleman is around 60 plus, and he has a lot of he always believes in the best particular thing practices. But I can always tell you, I used to work on a I had done a lot of ultrasounds, also ultrasonography for patients who used to present with overactive bladder, or they pass the be frequent urination at night as well as in the day hours. So this particularly thing which is called nocturia, which is frequent urination at night, is probably with that you're not getting enough restful sleep, which leaves you cranky, frustrated with your body, and you are somehow you'll be subjected for all. Of course, we also subject for patients with all the array of tests and all that before. So let me tell you what are the common things we should look for first. See, if you are getting more than once during the 6 to 8 hour sleep, you are not alone, number one. And there are it has been shown that approximately 1 in 3 adults above the age of 30 or 40, they have this nocturia. They need that excessive need to urinate at night. So let us see what this is what is the Urology Care Foundation has found out. And so see what happens in that case is it is probably like that you are making too much urine, your bladder can't hold it for long periods of time, and it is a bit of both. This on this background, let us see what are the things research has done on what are the how this impact different things. It contributes to fatigue, it contributes to memory issues, depression and anxiety, high risk of heart disease, gastrointestinal distress, and increased risk of falls. Sleep is tied to everything, and I tell you, this is the best ever recharge God has given you, and I don't want anyone to compromise on this particular thing. Having said so, one is this recharge facility. What is because of this diurnal rhythm, and you should always respect that cycle, diurnal rhythm basically, and you should sleep it properly at the night hours, when the sun sets in. After that you should sleep. It's not the other way around. So let us see what are the causes and of this nocturia, frequent passing urine in the night, which is there are lifestyle choices, health conditions, and medications can affect this particular stuff. But the most common thing is the aging. This is because the older we get, the less our bodies produce the hormone that tells our kidneys to take it easy while we are resting. So in addition, with age, the bladder becomes less elastic, it becomes fibrotic, so it can't hold as much as urine as it used to be able to in your younger days. So the result is the frequent trips to the restroom in the middle of the night. What happens in the older men, an enlarged prostate could be the culprit behind nocturia. This occurs because the bladder is unable to empty out completely, leading to more trips to the toilet round the clock. And in women too, they who had children which have without cesarean, they have normal deliveries. What happens is that they may tend out to become weaker muscles if if they have not worked on the pelvic floor muscles. So, particularly women after menopause experience this reduced estrogen production, which can impact the urinary tract. So, apart as a doctor, medical doctor, trying to see why this gentleman has got this particular, I would like to look at is there any heart conditions, is there any he has got any diabetes, he has got any liver failure, or he's getting into some neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's or Parkinsonism, or it is just overactive bladder because of the lack of magnesium, or is it having a harboring a prostate tumor, or whether it is interstitial cystitis. And people with obesity also tend to get into something like overactive bladder. And of course, people during pregnancy, because of that way thing, child's the fetus, which uterus, which bulges on the bladder, which also causes increase kind of thing. So, as a doctor, I just need to know what are the things which can happen, and that's the reason I try to keep cross quick check with all these things I'd like to do. And the one thing I always tell the patients, and patients are always following that, is that having less cups of tea before the bed, or less amount of water, or if you have too many glasses of wine in your evenings, or you have any modifying the see this particular there I have seen compulsive water drinkers, which they just take lots and lots of water, try to fill their they try to do some they after the break, dinner and all that, they try to increase the after that they increase the intake of water. That is one of the commonest causes of increased nocturia. So we would like to know more of the patient, and we always tell to avoid this caffeine in the afternoon or alcohol in the evening, since both are these things which interfere with the natural urination cycle. And we need to rule out any early symptoms of urinary tract infection also can present like that. So we need to have your urine test and all that, we try to go for it. So when you are looking into that, when we I had seen my patients having on putting on diuretics, which is just takes out your water from the system, and that also increases the urination. That is one thing which you always have to look into that. And see, this is one thing I had always checked out. So what we used to do is the diuretics the person used to take at the middle 8 o'clock in the evening. We used to prepone that by 4 o'clock in the evening, so that he passes urine, and after 10 o'clock he doesn't pass, in the sense he will not have that the diuretic effect of this much medicine is only for 4 to 6 hours, so not to give when he sleeps. So this are a lot of things which has to be taken into thing. And there are some foods which I want you to understand, foods and drinks which are irritating. Number one comes to it's a bladder irritation is a universal phenomenon, because what happens is that if you are taking some alcohol or some chocolate, some coffee or tea, or you are taking some processed foods, even something like tomato sauce, or you have got something like hot sauce, or chili peppers, or you have got some acidic fruit juices like orange and grapefruit. These are the things which can cause that overactive bladder, which bladder irritation is known to happen with this alcohol, chocolate, tea, coffee. You know about that, but there are something like tomatoes and all that. This is one thing. A lot of oxalate things comes into this picture, as well as the orange juice and all. So apart from that, you can always think of putting your this one on strengthening your pelvic floor. Of all the things what I have seen is there is it's a purely anecdotal this one, where it was not properly shown, but what happens here is a handful of raisins. A handful of raisins has to be worked out when the person who is having nocturia. It is this is nocturia sufferers have reported positive effects from eating a handful of raisins before bed. I somewhere I should try to. This is one thing which was, as medically speaking, we don't have much answers to that. But I have seen people who take the raisins and after that raisins soaked in water, that particular thing helps. So this is the one particular thing which I always, it sometimes it acts as a placebo, but it helps for patients. So I would like to put emphasis on that. And apart from that, I would like to people should know what are the pelvic floor exercises. We used to talk about a lot of pelvic floor exercises, but squatting or rolling out your yoga mat, you are trying to put simple child pose, and so many things are there. But if we can work on that also, this will be a very good add-on thing which can help you controlling this thing. Thank you.